1518, Martin Luther, the great reformer, was kidnapped. He had been at this conference called the Diet of Worms, and he was on his, he was leaving hurriedly because he was worried that he might be killed. If he was condemned as a heretic, they had been known to just have these people put to death right away. So he had been promised that that was not gonna happen, and he could show up at court and he would not be, arrested there. But he leaves the meeting when it looks like they're gonna vote against him, and he's racing out and he's kidnapped. 10 men come up upon him and they capture him. But they were not there to capture him, to kill him. They were actually sent by the Duke of Saxony, which was sort of the governor of the region that Martin Luther lived in, and they were there to take him to safety. So they took him to this castle, and he lives in this castle for a year undercover. And I've been to the castle, I've been to his study, and it's a famous place that you go and tour if you're interested in Luther. And so he's going to live for a year in this castle. And it's at this moment, he's leading this massive revolution, right? He's leading this massive revolution. The Reformation is not just a religious thing. It's going to change families. It's going to change education. It's going to change economies. It's going to change everything. He's at the epicenter of it, and he is forced out. So for a year, he is living off the grid. Nobody can find him. They don't know what's going on with him. What does he do during that year? Here's a different question. What would you do during that year if this were you? Now, I thought about this for a while, and I think what I would probably do is I would probably either try and write a book or I'd try and raise money. Luther doesn't do either of those things. He translates the Bible into German because unlike the other Reformations, and there had been efforts within the church, the medieval church, the Catholic Church, there had been efforts to root out the corruption. People saw it. It wasn't confusing. People knew that there was corruption. They knew that they had to get things right. The reform efforts to date, though, had been the creation of monasteries. There had been monks going off on their own to spend extended times in prayer and other things, sort of get away from the corrupting influence. Luther's big difference and genius and secret is to get people back to the Word of God. And so he does this because there's nothing like the Bible. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12 says that the Word of God is living and active and sharper than a two-edged sword, piercing as far as the division of soul and spirit, of both joint and marrow, able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart. So Hebrews chapter 4 is a difficult passage. It's a scary passage to read. It talks about people who think they're Christians who aren't. And then we've got this passage about the Bible. And it's not there, the passage about the Bible, this description of the Bible as being sharper than a two-edged sword, is not there to talk about the power of the Bible as much as it's to talk about the fact that the Bible is able to divide the undividable. It's able to get to the center of things. It's got a power. It's got a self-authenticating voice. It's got insight. And I don't know that you've experienced that yet. I hope so, because it is pretty transformational to go, wow, I'm reading this passage today, and it speaks exactly to what's going on in my heart. Or, wow, this book is exposing me. And it is. It has the ability. It is sharper than the sharpest thing that the writer could come up with. Sharper than this Roman two-edged dagger. And it's able to get in joint and marrow, divide between soul and spirit, right? It's able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart. So the Bible is powerful. There's nothing like it. Read it and let it change you. Have a good day.